Hello, sorry for disappearing for so long, but I'm back. I know, the crowd cheers, Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Romeo and Juliet, starring Kit Connor and Rachel Zegler, written by Jack Antonoff. So before I begin, I just want to say that the idea of an understudy should never be unconsidered when buying tickets for a Broadway show. After all, you're paying for the plot, not the performers. However, when it is announced that an understudy will be performing that night, I and many others would expect that understudy to be off book. I feel like that is the bare minimum. I feel like that's the expectation as an understudy, that is your job. However, that appears that is not the case with Romeo and Juliet, and today I'm going to be diving into that and all the drama regarding the lack of preparation from understudies to the removal of the final song when an understudy is playing Juliet. Romeo and Juliet, starring Kit Connor and Rachel Zegler, made its Broadway debut Thursday, October 24th, 2024. Despite making its official Broadway debut in late October, the play was available for viewing starting early fall, early September, I believe. I don't know, I was trying to find the dates, but it was kind of hard. I myself saw the play Thanksgiving weekend, and being completely honest, I had zero complaints after watching. I went with my friend for her birthday, and we were sat in the aisle, so we saw Kit Connor and a bunch of other actors zooming past us because they run around the entire theater. So we were super close to the cast, and we also got signatures from nearly every single cast member at the stage door. So I had a great time watching the show. Interestingly enough, I also had an understudy in my show. That night, instead of Tahine Modak, I apologize if I said his name incorrectly, playing Benvolio, I saw Timothy O play Benvolio. And it actually was Timothy O's Broadway debut literally that morning. The AM show for that day was his first time ever being on Broadway, and I watched his second time ever being on Broadway, and I think he did a phenomenal job. I didn't even notice that it was an understudy, besides the little, they gave you a little paper saying there was an understudy, but if it hadn't been for that, I would have not known. He did a great job. He was off book, choreography was perfect. I have no complaints about it. And I even had a really down to earth and just kind conversation with him at the stage door. He was really nice to me and my friends, and I had a great time talking to him, and I thought he did a great job being an understudy. I think you're not really supposed to notice that an understudy is there, and I think he did a great job of doing that. So I just wish him great things for his future regarding Broadway and the rest of his life. However, this enjoyable experience of having an understudy for Romeo and Juliet could not be said for all of the nights, specifically the most recent ones last week or so. So what went wrong? When it comes to understudies, I firmly believe that when it comes time for you to fill in the role for another cast member, you should be prepared. Although it's been an issue in Broadway productions that understudies don't get enough practice times for their roles, I do believe that it's still up to the actor to at least be off book in case of needing to step up in their designated role. If this wasn't the case, then why even have understudies ready to go at all? I would understand an understudy not being ready if they hadn't been with the show for its entire running. However, for Romeo and Juliet, these understudies were hired from the start. So to have an understudy come on stage with a script in hand is kind of insane. I just feel like it's your job to know your lines when it comes time to be on stage. Also, the show is literally Romeo and Juliet. Every person above the age of 14 has had to read the book for school at some point in their life. And I understand I'm just a teenage girl, okay, what do I know about theater? But even people on TikTok who are understudies themselves are saying that it's expected for them to be off book, and it is their job to be ready when it comes time to be an understudy. That's the reason why understudies are sometimes paid more than other actors on stage, because part of being an understudy is that unexpectedness and that never knowing when it is time to step up. You have to know the choreography. You have to know all the little changes that have been made throughout the production that might not be specifically said in the script. But that is the job of an understudy, and that's why not everyone can be one. I just find it crazy for a Broadway production to have understudies with scripts in hand, understudies that aren't ready. It is Broadway, for God's sake. So now moving on to the other situation with Romeo and Juliet, which is the cutting of songs. Despite Romeo and Juliet typically being just a play, writer Jack Antonoff decided to create 2 songs for this production, both sang by Juliet. So I struggled to find the name of the first song. I think it's called Whiplash. No matter like where I look online, they kind of just mention the second song, which is Man of the House. But if I remember correctly, the first song is played when they first meet at like the costume party. Yeah, I think everyone knows what that is if you know Romeo and Juliet, but yeah. That's when, like, in the movie, the girl is dressed in the angel wings and he's the knight. But they have a song during that part in this version, so that's Rachel Zegler singing it. And then the second song is Man of the House. For this portion of the video, we're gonna be talking about Man of the House, since that's the song that gets cut when there's an understudy on. Like I previously said, Jack Antonoff wrote these songs specifically for this version of Romeo and Juliet. Other productions of Romeo and Juliet typically have no music at all. If I remember correctly, Man of the House is sang after Romeo gets exiled for killing Juliet's cousin, Tybalt. This song is basically just about her love for Romeo, and Rachel does a great job at singing it. The reason I'm saying Rachel is great at singing it rather than saying Juliet is great at singing it is because Rachel is the only person who sings it. Rachel Zegler has been out multiple times during the running of the show, and every time her understudy, Missy Malik, is on, the song gets cut. Rather than having an understudy perform a song that was specifically made for this rendition of Romeo and Juliet, they instead decide to cut the song instead. I feel like this basically demonstrates how the song isn't even really important to the show, but it is instead simply there just for Rachel to sing it. In fact, many viewers say that the song is just irrelevant. There are people saying that it doesn't matter that the song is cut. But if that's the case, then why write the song at all? If Jack Antonoff wanted to write a song for Rachel, he could have simply done that outside of the realm of Romeo and Juliet. Like, imagine being an understudy for Juliet, and then when it comes time to perform, you're told that you won't be singing one of the 2 songs that are in the entire performance, simply because it was written for another actress. I don't know, I just feel like that's kind of rude. Like, you worked so hard to be an understudy for Romeo and Juliet. You're gonna be the understudy for Juliet. And then you get told, oh, hey, you know the 2 songs that are in this production? Yeah, you're only gonna be singing one because I wrote the song for Rachel Zegler and Rachel Zegler only. And I don't think this is the fault of any of the actors, whether it be the understudy or Rachel. I feel like it's the fault of the directors and the writers, and it's just like, I feel like a bad call production-wise. Why write a song when you can literally remove it when a specific actress isn't there? I don't think that tickets should be refunded to audience members simply because of an understudy going on that night. Like I said earlier, you're paying for the plot, not the performers. However, I do believe that if an entire song will be cut from the play simply because one actress isn't performing, refunds are owed. Also, if your actors have scripts in their hands while performing, I feel like refunds are definitely owed. This is kind of off topic, but I also kind of just feel like for this production of Romeo and Juliet, I feel like people are mainly there to see Kit and Rachel. I know that I was there mainly to see Kit. I'm a really big fan of him, and I really just wanted to see him perform on Broadway, and I feel like that would be my only chance to see Kit Connor in person. However, I do think some people take it too far. If I did have an understudy for Romeo that night, I would be disappointed, but I wouldn't be rude about it or anything like that. And I feel like there were some people who were like, oh my god, Rachel wasn't there that night, I deserve a refund. Not really. That's the risk you take when you pay for a Broadway production. The actor is not guaranteed with the show. Also, another thing that I've seen online and also in person, when Rachel did her speech about donations at the end of the production, which I think all the Broadway productions that I've been to do that, people were leaving early to get to the stage door to ensure getting a signature, which I feel like is just like rude. Like, I feel like that's not the etiquette that you should be doing. Like, I understand that, oh my god, it's Rachel Zegler and Kit Connor, like these are famous actors outside of the Broadway realm, but you don't leave during a production. Wait until the end. Wait until the end of her speech. Show some respect. I don't know, I just felt like it was like insane. I was just like, okay guys, like I left after the speech, and I got to the front of the barrier and I got signatures from nearly every cast member. It was just like, you don't have to leave while she's talking. And something I remember occurring when signatures were happening was that someone like hit the understudy in the head with their poster when Kit was passing by, because they were like freaking out. And I was like, well, hello, what is happening? Like, I was elated to see Kit Connor. Like, I've been a fan of Heartstopper since before even the show came out, but I wasn't like crazy. Like, the screams when he came out was insane. Like, people were like shoving and pushing. Like, I remember I just got like insane, like claustrophobic, like crowd, oh my god, it was insane. And I remember when Kit was walking, I have video, I'll put a video, but when Kit was walking, like, people were waving their posters, literally, like, so Timothy O was signing posters, and then someone like shoved it, like hit their poster in the head, hit him in the head with the poster because they wanted Kit to sign their poster, and like just had no regard for him as a person. Like, that is a person. You don't need to be so aggressive just because Kit Connor is there. Like, you'll get your signature. Just like, if you're gonna be rude and aggressive and physical, you don't really deserve a signature because you're just being disrespectful to Kit Connor's castmates. Everyone put effort into the production. Kit isn't above everyone. Treat actors with respect no matter their role. Besides the whole stage door thing, it was a great show and I had a great time watching it, and it's upsetting that some people didn't have the same experience as I did, but I do think that is a thing that needs to be fixed regarding the understudies, regarding the cutting of the song. Like, I don't know, it's just like weird, and it's like Broadway. I feel like it's high up there. This shouldn't be happening in Broadway shows. Like, Broadway, really? Like, okay, my high school productions, okay, that's fine, but like Broadway, like, I feel like these are kind of different levels. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Okay, so that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry for the lack of a microphone, shitty lighting, shitty sounds coming from outside. But oh my god, there's a plane passing. I hopefully have time to make more videos for this channel because I really do like making them. Video essays are more fun to make than my actual essays for school, so that's what I'm doing. I have work I need to do and I'm doing this instead, so, but it's more fun, so what can I say? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Have a happy new year. Hopefully this comes out before New Year. I'm filming this on the 27th, so happy holidays, everyone. Okay, bye.